Hello everybody once again! This is AikawaKazu. Welcome back to another MapleStory video. As promised, when the Shadow buffs are here, I will be back in MapleStory, and I am back today to do a video on the new Shadow buffs that have just been implemented in the latest patch. So before we actually get into the the buffs itself, you can see that my webcam is black and white. Why black and white? Because alright chat, press F to pay respects to the Nerve, Core Gemstone, and Arcane Symbol drop rate. Feels bad, man. Basically, for those who want some idea on how bad it is, in GMS, most people will tell you that it has been nerfed more than half, and I can quote-unquote confirm through my testing with 4 times drop rate buff, Wealth Acquisition Potion, and decent Holder Symbol. Basically, everything I can use right now, over 900% drop rate. 900%, because we do not know how the drop rate is being calculated right now, that I only got 9 core gemstones in Slurp Forest Depths as a shadower in 30 minutes. 9 core gemstones in 30 minutes compared to my usual, at the very least, 30 core gemstones per 30 minutes. So from 1 core per minute without Arcana, I'm getting 3 minutes to 4 minutes per... Did I even do the math correctly? I don't know. But basically I got 9 core gemstones in 30 minutes. It's probably between 9 to 12, I think, if you plus minus here to be fair, if I do an hour long farm itself. But yes. Alright, drop rates has been nerfed. Okay. So, okay, now that we have cleared that out, let's go back to what has been changed to Shadow. Alright, so the main thing that we are focusing on will be Eviscerate here, and I'll be sharing with you my insights and what are the things that you need to take note of when using the new Eviscerate. But before we get to that, let's just talk about the changes, the rest of the buffs. Alright, first thing, Midnight Carnival. From I think 8 lines or 9 lines changed to 7 lines, but the damage has been buffed 160%. What is significant here for you to know is that it's not just a shadower change in terms of Midnight Carnival. The reason why this has been changed to 7 lines is because MapleStory only allows 15 lines. I believe Midnight Carnival was 8 lines or at least 9, I can't remember, but at least 8, definitely more than 7 since they changed it to 7. So what happens is with Shadow Partner, 8 times 2 is 16 lines. So you have 1 line of Midnight Carnival damage that is not calculated, which is lost in space, right? So they have done, not just to Shadow, but across the entire MapleStory, I believe, when it comes to all classes, that exceed the 15 lines to bring down the number of lines by increasing the base damage of the skill. So that's the significance of the Midnight Carnival change if you wanted to know. Second thing, Shadower Instinct changed to 40 attack up from 2, which is really good. Alright, and last but not the least, we got a 9% crit damage buff from 11 to 20%. I don't know why the description here is wrong, or am I looking at the wrong passive skill? I'm not sure. I think it's this one, sorry. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. I think it's Primal Critical. Back then, actually I don't know. I just know that we have 9% overall increase in crit damage, which brings me to 96% base, which is really, really nice. So that is the buffs here. So what has changed in Eviscerate? Okay, so if you actually watched my Eviscerate video back then, you will know that Eviscerate was a skill that you could use in 2 ways. One, the single target version and the AoE version of the skill. To use the single target version of the skill back then, you had to counter an attack, which means that you could only use a single target version of Eviscerate passively. That means you have to wait for someone to punch you, then you can punch back. If you bind a boss, therefore the boss cannot punch you, therefore you cannot use your single target version of Eviscerate, which means you have a very strong 10 seconds cooldown single target skill that you cannot use, which is why this change probably happened in the first place. Also, if you want to use the AoE version of Eviscerate, you had to have a 1 second window where your character will show a talisman, and if you're not attacked, or if you're not hit by any projectile or attack in that 1 second window, then you will use the AoE version of the skill, which makes using Eviscerate for mobbing, grinding, and farming very clunky, very rigid, because you have to stand there for 1 second and you have to make sure that you don't get hit by anything before the AoE version of the skill comes out, which is still possible, but it makes it very, very not flowy when it comes to using Eviscerate in your rotations for mobbing. But now with the change, it is beautiful, it is glorious right now. Let me show you, alright, real quick here, in one of the Arcana maps. Alright, so one of the maps that we can grind in, that I love to grind in, is this one. Okay, so you can see when I press R, which is my Eviscerate, that was instantaneous. instant. Whoa, rune of new rune, I think. So again, Eviscerate, boom. Look at that, instantaneous. It is glorious right now. The AoE version of Eviscerate. Okay. Again, if you missed it, boom, instantaneous. It's glorious. So the AoE version of Eviscerate is now really good for mobbing. I have zero complaints right now. But your next question will be, how do I use the single target version of the skill right now? So if you actually go read the patch notes, it mentions a line, something along the lines of Assassinate, or rather Eviscerate, can now be linked with Assassinate. The keyword here is linked, which is a beautiful word to use, because had I realized the emphasis on the word linked, which you probably don't just like myself, I would not actually figure out how to use a skill. So to show you what I mean, we're going to use the Mulong Dojo Scarecrow dummy here, alright? So let me just get the point flip buffs up. So what you'll notice here straight away is that you can see a ×3 debuff. The icon is really cool, I love it. And after 10 seconds, the icon will disappear. So how do you actually get the debuff to be on the mob? So if you look at Assassinate, there's two parts of the skill. First, this part, the and then boom, which is the second part. Whenever you dunk, which is the boom, you get a next one. Again, boom, x2, and again, boom, x3. So when you get an x3 here, you'll be like, okay, I can spam Eviscerate now, right? No, look at that, that's the AoE part of the skill. So how do you actually get a single target version to work? The keyword here again is linked. You have to press your Eviscerate hotkey as you dunk. So, boom. And now you can realize that I missed. So you cannot press after, it has to be literally just before or on the dunk. Alright, my cooldown is here right now. So let me give you a positive example here. I failed. Again. Okay, so we make sure we don't fail the next one. So again, the keyword here is link. So you have to link the dunking part to the single target part of the skill. There you go, I did not fail this time. Okay. So some people say that you just spam Eviscerate as you are, at the dunking part of the skill. Like this. Okay. So what else can you do? You'd be like, okay, Kazu, so now I can actually use a single target version of the skill, but back then I could actually counter. For example, if you're actually fighting against, Chaos Von Bon, which is the Chaos Chicken, right? You'll fire the projectile, let's say I'm here, and you could actually, the counter part of the skill, right? And you could actually teleport to the mob here. And the mobility of Eviscerate was awesome in that sense. Obviously, the counter part was also awesome, but the mobility part of Eviscerate was awesome as well. So here, you can actually still use Eviscerate for as long as you can see x3 debuff, right? And you can add the dunking part, teleport to the mob. Glorious, isn't it? That was beautiful. Alright, so one more thing to add here is that you can also use it to reposition yourself. Okay, so imagine C-Val right now, the Scarecrow is looking at me right now, right? C-Val is actually firing fireballs in this direction. So most of us will kite and we'll, go to the back, right? So after you start fireball, if you want to reposition yourself here, know that this will always go to the opposite direction. So I'm here, right? I can come back. I'm actually on this side. Yeah. The reason why it doesn't really work on the Scarecrow is because the Scarecrow's hitbox is actually very small. So when you use Eviscerate, you actually end up in the same spot. So know that you can still use Eviscerate to teleport, and you can also use it to reposition yourself. So for example, if I go to the left, I can reposition myself to the right. I'll actually be here, the right side of the Scarecrow. Sorry, right? I was on the left. I reposition myself to the right. So you'll always be on the other side of the mob or the monster which you use Eviscerate on. So again, dunk. Oops. Yeah. It takes a while to get the timing right. So the last thing that you need to know about Eviscerate, aside from the repositioning, is that sometimes when you use Assassinate, for example, if you're doing Lotus, right, and Lotus summon a lot of mobs, so you might have X3 debuff or 3 times debuff on Lotus, but a mob comes into your way and you accidentally hit one of the monsters with the Assassinate. What happens here is that the X3 debuff will actually disappear or something. I'm not too sure, I can't really confirm yet, but basically having monsters spawn around the monster that you are trying to do the Assassinate debuff on has a very high chance of screwing up your debuff counters on the mob that you want to use Eviscerate single target on. So for example, if you want to use Eviscerate to dodge the lasers and Lotus, this is one thing that you need to bear in mind. You have to make sure that there's no mob around you when you are when you're trying to stack up the assassinate stacks. If not, it will actually screw up your assassinate. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed out. Chat, did I miss anything else? Okay, so to summarize again, the keyword here is linked. Make sure to press it just before or on the dunk itself. I will highly recommend mentally that you tell yourself to press it just before, because you can see if the dunk happens, it's too late. It has to be on the dunk itself. So mentally you tell yourself you'll press it just before, and automatically you'll press it on the dunk itself. So you won't actually miss or eviscerate, and it can be, you know, life or death when it comes to using the eviscerate to dodge certain mechanics or to reposition yourself. Yeah. And the next thing is that you can use eviscerate without having the second hit, the second part of the assassin, which is the dunk hitting the mob itself. It can be used while you're away like this, to reposition yourself, to move yourself. That's one thing you also need to know. And last but not the least, if there are monsters around the main like boss that are trying to use assassinate on, just bear in mind that your assassinate debuff might be brought on to a monster or a mob that you don't want to happen, and your stacks will actually disappear or be affected. Can't confirm on that yet. But I think that's about it for this video. Yep. I think that's about it for this video. So as usual, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to storm that like button. If you have any more questions about Eviscerate, or if you have any more insights to share about Eviscerate, feel free to leave in the comments below. My name is AikawaKazu. Alright, thanks for watching. And the host on a video, host videoception, I'm not too sure. Thank you, Lucy, for the host. Name is AikawaKazu. Thanks for watching once again. God bless. That was loud, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next one. Bye.